Smile and learn.
Hi everyone! What kind of music do you like? Classical music? Rock and roll? Or maybe pop? Today we're going to talk about genres of music. A genre of music means a type or a style of music. Every genre of music is different. There are differences in how they sound, how people play them, what instruments they use, and even where they come from. Did you know that there are hundreds of different genres of music in the world? Let's learn about a few now. Classical music. First, let's talk about classical music. It started around the 16th century in Europe. In those days, there wasn't television and there weren't any cell phones, so classical music was people's entertainment. People enjoyed classical music in theaters as well as in the homes of rich people. Musicians played classical music with typical instruments of those days, like, for example, wind, string, and percussion instruments. You can play classical music with just a few instruments or in big groups of musicians called orchestras. Look, this is one here. Classical music usually relaxes us and makes us feel different emotions like happiness, sadness, or even surprise. And you? How do you feel when you listen to classical music? Opera. Opera is a genre of music that started in Italy at the end of the 16th century. Its main characteristic is that it tells a story as if it was a play, but instead of talking, the performers sing. In opera, we can hear a big orchestra, and we can see opera singers that play the different characters in the story the opera tells. Did you know that originally opera singers didn't use microphones? They used their respiratory system and abdominal muscles to amplify their voices and make themselves heard on the stages of huge opera houses. Isn't that incredible? Jazz. Another genre of music is jazz. It is originally from the south of the United States. People started to play it in the beginning of the 20th century. It is a unique type of music that uses different string, wind, and percussion instruments. Have you ever listened to jazz music? It sounds a little different than other genres like classical or opera music, right? Let's give it a listen. Why does it sound different? For many reasons. One interesting reason is improvisation. This means that musicians make up some of the music while they play it. Interesting, right? It's definitely not easy. Rock and roll. Rock and roll music began in the 50s in the United States. This is a genre of music that people play with electronically amplified instruments. The most common are the electric guitar, the electric bass, the keyboard, and the drums. It's hard to listen to rock and roll and not want to move your feet, don't you think? Pop. Lastly, we're going to talk about pop. Did you know that pop is short for popular? This genre also started in the United States in the 50s, and people still listen to it a lot today. It normally has a simple structure with a rhythm that is easy to sing and dance to. Come on, let's dance!
switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road.
Wow, there are so many genres of music, and we've only just started. What's your favorite? Do you like classical music? Opera? Jazz? Rock and roll? Or pop, the best? I like all of them. Okay, that's all for today, friends, but we still have quite a few more genres of music to learn. See you in the next episode. Don't miss it. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. Let me ask you a question. Do you like rap? Have you ever listened to blues music? How about country music? Well, listen up, because today we're going to learn about these and other genres of music. It's going to be awesome! Remember that genre means type or style of music. Each genre of music is different. There are differences in how they sound, how people play them, what instruments people play, and even where they come from. Let's get started. Rap. We'll start with rap. Rap started in the 1970s in big cities in the United States. We call rap singers rappers. They have a very unique way of making music. Rappers sing very fast, and they use a similar pitch throughout the whole song, so sometimes it sounds like they are talking. But if you pay close attention, the lyrics rhyme just like a poem. Rappers experiment a lot with the sound of words to generate different kinds of effects. Have you ever noticed this? Normally, rap is accompanied by other instruments that produce a repetitive rhythm. Rap music can be very fast. Have you ever heard of hip-hop DJs? DJs normally accompany rappers. They play the music or track that we hear in the background on rap songs. Let's listen to a bit of rap music now. This ain't a fluke. I seen it way before it ever happened. He gave me the view. I had to put in my time on the TV. It coming in soon. Blues. You flew away just like a bird. In English, we know that blue is a color, but right now we're not talking about colors. Blues is a type of music that began in the beginning of the 20th century. It is mainly a vocal style of music, which means that although people play instruments, the singer is the star. The singer expresses emotions such as sadness and heartbreak through the lyrics of the song. The notes of blues songs have a special characteristic, and that is that they sound very sad. What do you feel when you listen to blues? Let's listen to it. Gospel. And what about gospel music? Gospel music is a type of religious music created by the enslaved people who lived in the United States between the 17th and 19th centuries. Typical instruments in gospel music include tambourines, pianos, organs, guitars, and other stringed instruments, as well as some wind instruments. In gospel music, we hear groups of singers called choirs, as well as call and response structures. This means that the lead singer sings something and the choir answers them. Let's listen to some gospel. Disco. Disco music started in the 70s. In disco music, we can hear simple lyrics and electronically created sounds. Disco music is a type of music made mainly for dancing in discos and nightclubs. Doesn't that sound like fun? You can hear electric guitar, electric basses, keyboards, and drums in disco music. Come on, let's dance! Country music. Finally, let's take a look at country music. It is a type of music that was born in the rural regions of the southern United States in the early 20th century. In country music, we hear a mixture of slow and fast rhythms. Stringed instruments such as the violin, guitar, and bass, along with the piano and percussion instruments, are the most typical in country music. But we can also hear another interesting instrument in country music, the banjo. The banjo is similar to a guitar and has 4, 5, or 6 strings. Its body looks like a drum, and people usually play it very fast. Wow, aren't these music genres fantastic? Which one is your favorite? Did you like rap, blues, gospel, disco, or country the best? I think they're all great. Well, that's all for today, friends, but we still have a lot more genres of music left to learn about. We'll continue looking at them in the next episode, so don't miss it. See you next time! Hello there, friends! Today we're back to learn about some more genres of music. Have you ever listened to reggae music? Have you ever danced to salsa music? What about flamenco? Well, listen up, because today we're going to learn about these genres of music and more. Are your ears ready? Remember that genre means type or style of music. Each genre of music is different. There are differences in how they sound, how people play them, what instruments people play, and even where they come from. Let's get started. Reggae. Reggae is a genre of music that began in Jamaica in the 1960s, but became popular in the 1970s. Reggae groups usually play basses, guitars, pianos, organs, trumpets, and percussion instruments like congas or drums. The lyrics of reggae songs normally talk about things like faith, love, and society. Let's listen to it. Salsa. Salsa is a Latin genre of music that sounds very happy and is easy to dance to. It has a very interesting origin. As a genre, it started in Cuba, but it is actually a mix of musical elements from Africa and Spain. There are some people who say that in the 1930s people were already listening to salsa rhythms, but it wasn't until the 1960s that this genre became super popular. Salsa has a very recognizable rhythm, and it uses all types of percussion instruments like congas, maracas, and claves, as well as wind instruments like the trombone or trumpet. We can also hear other instruments such as the piano or bass. Salsa is a genre of music that people dance to all over the world. Salsa singers usually sing in Spanish. Come on, let's listen to some salsa music. It's hard not to want to move your feet, right? Flamenco. Flamenco is a genre of music that started in Andalusia, a region in the south of Spain. No one knows exactly when flamenco began. Even though the word flamenco appeared for the first time in the 18th century, people think that this genre of music is much older than that. In flamenco music, we can hear the Spanish guitar, caja or box drum, and castanets. We can also hear clapping, stamping, and of course, the voice of the singer, the cantaor or the cantaora. There are many different styles within flamenco, each with its own characteristics. In general, rhythm in flamenco music is not regular, so flamenco songs can contain both fast and slow parts, that build to a climax toward the end. Olé! Mariachi. Mariachi music began in the 18th century in Mexico, and since then it has become a very popular musical genre all over the world. Mariachi is traditional Mexican music performed by groups of musicians. The most common instruments in this type of music are the violin, trumpet, guitar, vihuela, guitarrón, and sometimes the harp. Historically, mariachi groups have been made up of men, but now there are more and more female mariachis too. Would you like to be part of a mariachi group someday? Let's have a listen. Tango. Finally, let's talk about tango, a musical genre that you probably know because of its famous dance. Does it sound familiar? Tango began among the European and African immigrant populations in Argentina and Uruguay in the 19th century. Tango ensembles, which are called orquestas típicas, usually play violin, flute, piano, double bass, and also a rather interesting instrument called bandoneón. Tango can be purely instrumental or include a singer. Let's listen to some tango. What do you think? Wow, aren't these genres of music super interesting? Which one do you like the most? Reggae? Salsa? Flamenco? Mariachi? Or tango? I enjoy them all, both to listen to and to dance to. Well, that's all for today, but we still have a few more musical genres left. We'll listen to them in the next episode. Don't miss it. See you next time.
Hi, friends! How are you today? We've already talked about many genres of music, but have you ever listened to techno music or reggaeton? Do you like heavy metal? Well, get ready because today we're going to learn about these genres of music and many more. It's music to my ears. Remember that genre means type or style of music. Each genre of music is different. There are differences in how they sound, how people play them, what instruments people play, and even where they come from. Let's get started. Techno. Techno comes from the word technology, since people use technology to create this type of music. This genre of music started in the 1980s in both the United States and Germany, and then quickly became popular all over the world. Techno is a repetitive and fast type of music. In techno music, artists use audio editing software, synthesizers, and sequencers to create electronically produced sounds. People also use melodies and songs from other musical genres, which they adapt to sound more technological. I just want to dance when I hear this music. What about you? Reggaeton.
Otra noche en Orlando. Baby, deja ese llanto que andamos gozando.
Hip-hop, reggae, and Latin music combine to create reggaeton, a type of Latin music that is very popular these days. Reggaeton started in Puerto Rico and Panama in the 1990s, but became popular in the 2000s. People use electronic instruments such as the synthesizer and sampler to make reggaeton music. These two instruments allow artists to create, record, or change the sound of any instrument. Most reggaeton performers rap instead of sing, but many of them mix the two. What do you think about reggaeton? Do you like to dance to it? Let's listen.
Si le pones reggaetón, tú la ves. Suelta la melena, también el estrés. Cuando ponen la canción, tú la ves.
Heavy metal! Heavy metal is a type of rock music that began in the 1960s and 1970s in the United States and the United Kingdom. Heavy metal bands are usually made up of a bass guitar, drums, and one or two electric guitars. Some bands also use keyboards or electronic organs. Heavy metal music has strong and powerful rhythms. Volume is another very unique feature of heavy metal. Musicians often play very loud, and sometimes it sounds strange, but they do that on purpose. Let's have a listen. Soul. Soul music began in the United States around the 1950s. Soul is a type of R&B or rhythm and blues music, which is a very broad genre made up of many styles of African American music. Soul mixes the sounds of genres such as pop, jazz, and even gospel. In fact, soul is very similar to gospel, but its lyrics are not religious. Instead, they talk about life and love, and it usually has a slower rhythm. The most common instruments in this genre are the electric guitar, bass, and drums, but we can also hear saxophones and other wind instruments. And let's not forget the most important thing of all, the singer. They are very important in this genre. Oh, and one of the most notable characteristics of soul music is that we hear people clapping to the beat. Can you hear it? Funk. Funk music began in the 1960s in the United States, along with other genres of R&B music. In fact, this is why funk has a lot in common with other genres of music. But what makes it stand out is that it is usually a much more upbeat and fast music. Rhythm plays a big role in this genre of music, which makes it great to dance to. The bass is the most important instrument, but funk bands also use electric guitars, drums, electric organs, and sometimes we can even hear trumpets, trombones, and saxophones. Let's have a listen. Wow, what do you think of all these music genres? Is there one you like the best? Techno? Reggaeton? Heavy metal? Soul? Or funk? I think they're all interesting. We've listened to a lot of genres of music. Maybe you've discovered a new one that you like. For now, keep listening and enjoying music, friends. See you next time.
We've learned so much in just one video. Did you know there are many more videos? Imagine how much you could learn. Subscribe to the Smile and Learn educational channel to learn and have fun at the same time.